political economist, Thiago's initial interest in diplomacy and politics has transformed into a passion for initiatives in the field of innovation studies, leadership development, the politics of finance, and the organization development. Thiago started his career in his native Brazil, at the Brazilian Center for International Relations. Later, joined the UK Trade and Investment, based at the British Consulate in Rio de Janeiro. He also spent some time at the Latin American and the Caribbean desk for the General Secretariat of the OECD in Paris as guest policy analyst, and engaged in extensive research at the University of Kassel. Eager for new challenges, he worked in Tanzania in development finance for the German Savings Banks Foundation. Thiago joined the BMW Foundation in 2018. After supporting the foundation's activity in Latin America, he took over the role of network organizer for his region in July 2021 to help nurture and expand the responsible leaders network, as well as strengthening the ecosystem of organizations and movements working to drive positive change.
Hi, Thiago. How are you?
I'm fine, Mina. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for accepting being with us. And well, this is something new that we are doing. This is our Probono podcast. And as some of you know, and it is something that is new, but it's interesting because, of course, we want to bring the conversation around Probono to everyone. And something really, really important is that we just celebrated Probono Week of 2021. So it was an amazing event in which we was invited to all our network. And we have the closing with Marcus Hip, who is a member of the board of the BMW Foundation. And it was great because Marcus introduced to us to Thiago. And Thiago is assuming a new role within the Global Pro Bono Network. And he's going to be from the BMW Foundation, a person that is going to follow up the network. And well, he's going to talk to us more about this role in some minutes. But thank you, Thiago, because this is an amazing opportunity to know a little bit more about you. You are not new at the BMW Foundation. You have been doing a lot of very, very interesting things. So I think it is amazing to have in this conversation with you.
Thank you. I'm also very delighted to be here with you today. And I'll also share a bit of what I do, about my background, and I'm also very grateful for this opportunity of being with all of you and the Global Pro Bono Network.
Well, excellent. And first of all, Thiago, we know that you are from Brazil, but let us please know a little bit more which part of Brazil you grew up, and how is it to grow up in Brazil? Take us to a trip to Brazil to know a little bit more about how was your childhood.
All right. Yes, I am Brazilian. I was born and raised in Rio. And as a child, I used to go to the beach with my family, spend a lot of time. I mean, actually, we would even try to go every 2 weeks to the beach, at least on Sundays, for us to have a nice time with family. I used to play also on the streets with colleagues, and this wasn't a problem at that time. I'm not that old, but at that time wasn't a problem to play with other colleagues on the street. And my childhood was very happy. It was very happy, very sunny, and I'm actually very grateful for all the opportunities that I had whilst growing up.
And of course, the opportunities of meeting amazing people, because we have a lot of responsible leaders from Brazil that they are just great. And growing up, Thiago, who has been the biggest influence in your life? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay. Well, the biggest influence of my life, I would say that it's my parents. They always inspired me to be a good person. They always worked very hard to afford me possibilities and opportunities for me to grow. And they never demanded from me to be a specific person or to follow a specific career, but rather they created the conditions for me to choose whatever I wanted to do in my life. That's why I really treasure them, and I think they are the biggest inspiration that I have. Besides teachers and professors, I think I've been also very lucky that I've met a lot of inspiring teachers that were also very committed to teaching us the world that surrounds us. Whilst at school, at university, I think I've been very lucky, and it's always were kind of a role model for me.
I think every time that we have children that they are raised by teachers or people that they are close to teaching something, because they know a lot about life, right? So it is like You have to give the example at your home and help
But
your people, right?
I also think that their passion is something that inspires me. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that you decide on taking on a specific mission, and teach is one of them. And I think this passion that teachers they show to me throughout my career, throughout my life, also inspired me to take on and find my own mission in life and follow suit.
That is great. And what is your passion, Thiago? Because now you are living in Germany. So what happened that you come from Brazil, like to the beach, to live in Berlin?
Yes, I actually moved to Germany 8 years ago, after finishing my bachelor's back in Brazil. And I actually, in my bachelor studies, I studied international relations. I've always wanted to become a diplomat, and I think this was also one of the motivations for me to move abroad. And here in Germany, I moved on to political economy. So then I studied political economy and became a political economist. And my passion is to drive positive change. And I find that in my job, inspiring people and trying to work for a better world. And I think I'm very privileged that I have the possibility of do what I love, and also to have um, the possibility of supporting others as my daily job.
Mhm.
And for me, this is one of the things that I treasure the most, and I also acknowledge as a privilege in my life.
No, and it makes sense that if you are so passionate about driving change and positive change, because your work in the BMW Foundation. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that? What is your role in the BMW Foundation?
Yes, for sure. I work as network organizer for Latin America. This is a role that I share with another colleague who's based in Brazil. Her name is Renata, and the two of us we are responsible for the network that is actually based. The responsibilities network or responsibilities who are based in Latin America, all the way from Mexico to Uruguay. So then our role is to scout new responsibilities to nurture this community, and also to somehow contribute to strengthening the ecosystem or the impact ecosystem in the region. So then meaning that we also look after our partnerships in the region with various organizations and movements that are driving positive change in their own societies.
Yeah, but you are very humble, Thiago, because you are talking to us about your role because of your position. But you have been in charge of some other projects. I remember recently the EDB Week, right?
Yes, yes.
That you were there, and well, we just have like this super important event of the COP happening recently, and you were like helping a lot and coordinating a lot of things. So, what else? You have different inside of the organization. You support other initiatives, right?
Yes, I do. Besides my work and my passion for Latin America, that I also say again, there is a privilege that I can live abroad and still serve my own region. So I'm really grateful for that. The foundation also provided me with the opportunity of contributing in different areas of the organization. So then I do a lot of things also internally for our Connect area, where we have all organizers working with responsibilities and partnerships. And I also support with the specific format of the foundation and other partnerships. So one of them is Global Probono Network,
Mhm.
and we have our partnership with EU United Nations Climate Change, and that's why we also organized a few activities at COP26 in Glasgow. I was in Glasgow last week until this Tuesday, and but yes, I was one of the team members that was in charge of the Equity, Diversity, and Belonging Week. That was our first global virtual format in an area that we also not expert on. So then, expert in actually, sorry. And for us, it was a learning journey for us to delve into a new field that is also very important, very sensitive, but at the same time that needs to be touched upon. So then I'm very grateful that I have the chance to start this journey with the foundation, talking about equity, diversity, and belonging in this global format.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and always like bringing also the experience from Latin America. I heard that you have the feast, right? There in
Yeah.
Glasgow, organized. Can you tell us a little bit just for the people that they don't know what is the feast?
Yes, this is the Festival de Innovación Social, Festival
Mhm.
Internacional de Innovación Social. And they actually started in Chile, and is a very nice festival that happens in the country, that is led by Jonathan Hatzfeld, a responsible also from Chile, and is a festival that gathers people from all walks of life around music, but also around workshops and talks, and then they have the space for them to exchange, to collaborate, but always thinking about the challenges that we face in society. And then during COP, we also had the chance of being with them in one of the festivals. And this festival was actually called Common Ground and was hosted by the FEES and our partners at We All. And the BMW Foundation was one of the partners that also joined forces during the festival. And in Glasgow, we were able to welcome around 1,000 people at an university called Queen Mary University. And over there, we had bands around like the Fratellis, that is a Scottish band. And we had workshops and panels. And it was actually very nice to see people actually after such a long time that we've been confined to our homes. We now had the chance to be in a place with other people, sing, dance, and also in between have a few of workshops and nice talks that are also inspiring us in the work that we do, and also to think about the future of this planet, because the very focus of Common Ground was to think about the intersection between the sustainable future that we want, that COPS has been thinking of, but also needs to be done for us to change the economy, for us to foster this sustainable future that we all envision.
Yeah, and I think what is amazing, Thiago, is that these are like disruptive ways in which we try like to connect to people, right? So it is like
Yes,
similar what we are doing the global Pro Bono network, like trying to think about, well, how can we the same things that we have been doing, do them in a sustainable way, in a different way, and I can understand why you have been invited to be part of this with all your work with communities and with the networks and everything. I think it's going to be amazing. So can you let us know a little bit more about what is going to be your new role representing the BMW Foundation within the Global Pro Bono Network?
yes. But before that, I just wanted to pick up on something that you just said about the new ways of doing things,
Yeah.
because I was also sharing that with a colleague that the public that we had during the festival was made of very young people that are actually university students, and this is a public that we usually do not come closer with our format. So then it was really nice that we organized something at a university, and then we had a rather different public, and they were there not just to celebrate, but also to discuss the sustainable future that we all are working together to build. And that's why I just wanted to mention that, because I thought very interesting. It was a sort of reflection that I also had with a colleague after the festival. But talking about my role, um, yes, yes, from the side of the BMW Foundation, I'll be with you at the Global Pro Bono Network, going forward and helping you think strategically about the new pathways that you want to go about, and helping you develop your activities, and also being these convener, but also the person who's enables the network. So then I'm here. I offer my hands for you in whatever manners you guys need to drive this community forth for you to do it. And also acknowledging the work that Daniela has been doing over the past years by accompanying this partnership and the network very closely on behalf of the foundation.
Yeah, no. It is great, Thiago, because well, you have a big experience with communities, networks, like the community of the responsible leaders, now the Global Program Network, but all the different kind of groups and communities and events. So I think it is going to be great that you participate with us. That is something that we really need. And for you, what is the importance of these groups, Thiago, of I don't know, coming through like to help and to make a collaborate with networks and with communities, as in this case, the Global Pro Bono Network.
Well, thinking that communities and networks, they are different concepts, and but are very much close to one another. They are very important because they create this conducive environment for people to exist, to coexist, to exchange, and to collaborate for a specific purpose. And I see this as a very important, um, I wouldn't say tool, but a very important way of relating to one another that we can use for us to design this future that is meant to be more inclusive, that is meant to be more sustainable for all of us. We all um, are actually very much connected. I mean, since globalization started, the world is actually well connected, and all of us we operate in networks. And why not to use these networks to drive a better future for all of us? And I see the Pro Bono network as a network also. As a conducive as a network that creates a conducive environment for those who are providing pro bono services all over the globe. So then for us to actually drive this change, we need some certain infrastructure. And I see that this network also offers this infrastructure for you to actually follow suit in your mission.
No, that's great, Thiago. And in which projects are you working right now? What is that? What are the projects that are making you like feel excited about for the next 6 months?
There are a lot of things that are actually getting me really excited now. Actually, all of us we know that we kind of nearing the end of the year, so then I see that all of us are actually taking care of planning and actually looking back on this year to see what worked well, what needs to be improved. And I'm no different to that. I'm actually now thinking very much about what is our planning for Latin America next year, all the exciting things that we're planning in the region, but also the other exciting things that I do besides Latin America. And the Pro Bono network is one of them. So then I'm very happy that I get to work closely with you and think about what can actually be done, how I can be as of service to all of you. So then all of these makes me really excited. I mean, this planning time of the year is for me very exciting. As you know, I take notes of everything. So then I have a lot of notes here of things that I would like to structure for next year. And this is something that I get that keeps me really excited.
Excellent. And actually, we need to invite because those are the plans for the next 6 months. We are going to have our next assembly from a General Assembly for the Global Promoter Network members. So that is the 26th of November. You are going to find with this podcast the link, and you are going to receive it by email. And of course, Thiago is going to be there with us. So it's going to be great, like to have this conversation around what we have been preparing, Thiago. And also, you were mentioning like, well, you have been like planning different things and everything for the next 6 months. And can you share with us, Thiago, like your favorite hacks, the ones that you use like to organize yourself, the ones that you are using like to order your things?
Well, one thing that I told you is that I take notes of everything. I love lists, and they actually help me keep structured. I'm still a bit old school. I have my schedule, my diary, and on my laptop, but still, I I have my notepad where I actually take notes of things. But besides all this organizational thing, one hack that I always share is that I have another notepad where I take notes of ideas, of insights that I have or that I come across during my day. For example, if I'm just sitting on the tube and suddenly I see something and an idea comes, so then I have my notepad beside me, and then I take notes of ideas. I do some drawing, and then I look back on them just to get some inspirations for things that I do. So then this is part of my old school side, and I always have it with me for me to take notes of things that can actually serve as inspiration for me.
Ah, that's excellent. And that is something that we are going to continue asking in this podcast because it is important like that we can learn like probably new hacks or ideas that are going to help us to organize what we are doing. And that is always good like to know. And of course, can you share with us also something that is really important? I think we learn all the time, right? And we have experiences, and you have been talking to us about what you have been doing. But what would you say that are the three most important lessons that you have learned in life, eh, personal or professionally so far?
Wow, this is a big question for Friday afternoon. Wow, yes, I can share three things that I think that I actually collected from my reflections over the past years, and also consider that I'm a person living abroad. I think the first one is to be true to yourself. I think when you move to another country, there's a lot of pressure for you to mingle and to actually accept this culture, and this will actually naturally happen after living many years in a different country. But at the same time, you should not lose your sense. You should always stay true to yourself, to your own roots. And the good thing is that we are adaptable. So then I mean, different sides can coexist within us. And my Brazilian side is within me, as well as the German culture that I actually assimilated by living in this country for many years. So then I think this is the good thing of the human being, and I think it's really important to stay true to yourself, to your roots, and to what you are, and to your dreams, and to what you've always wanted to achieve in your life. I think this is one thing.
Mhm.
The other thing is be kind to others. You're not able to go forward without people around you, without the support of others. Nobody is self-sufficient. All of us, we need support. And the good thing is of the word is that we have different skills, different skill sets, and they are complementary. And I'm really lucky and happy that I can count on people around me. That's why I'm telling you that one of the crucial things that I've learned in my life is to be kind to people, and this kindness will come back towards you. um, I think a few weeks ago I was actually in a classroom as a part of a course that I'm actually taking, and the speaker was telling us that the future is uncertain, but the future is not random, meaning that everything that we do today has an impact in the years to come. That's why she was telling us always make sure that you just put good things out there, because all of those things that you put out there, they will have an impact in the future, and they will impact other people's lives. So then just make sure that what you do is good for the world. So then be kind to other people, because this kindness will come to you back, and all of us will benefit from it. And the third one, sorry, there's a third one that I almost forgot. And the third one is also believe in the capacity that you have to drive positive change. Because sometimes you think that just those who are actually sitting now on the board of a specific organization, or are recognizably in a very distinctive leadership position, have the power to change the world. But even in small things, you can actually propel change. So then never forget that there's this ripple effect, and even the small things that you are doing, they actually can impact in the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now you were talking about the future, Thiago. What are your hopes for the future, and how do you see yourself in?
Well, first of all, it's not just about seeing myself. I think it's about seeing everyone. I think there's no future if we don't think about everyone. That's why I would actually say that the future that I see is a more inclusive future where
Mhm.
all voices are heard. I mean, we have no time to have a biased future where just the voices of a specific side of society, voices of a specific side of society are included, but rather we need all voices, and everyone's contribution for us to have the future that we want. So then I see a future that is inclusive, and that also understands and respects the limits of the planet.
Mhm.
We've just come into the end of COP26, and we also saw the reports that came about this year that are very alarming about the climate crisis that we're going through. So then I don't see a future where we do not respect the limits of the planet. So I would say that these two um, points or characteristics of the future are actually sitting with me.
Mhm.
inclusive, and sustainable, and that it respects the limit of the planet. And I don't only see Tiago, but I see all of us because all of us have a role to play in it.
Wow. And that is like completely the line of how you've been working and the things that you are doing, Thiago, because of course it is like this subject about inclusion that you are like with the flag of it, and your work with communities and networks, because you are right, it is not about being us, right? It about me. It's about like me is a part of us. So it is not me without the rest. So it makes a lot of sense with the work that you have been doing with networks, communities, and all this thing about, well, bringing everyone together. So, and I know that, well, you're young people, Thiago, with a lot of experience, and that I know that the BMW Foundation they really appreciate you a lot, your work, your commitment, all what you have been doing. And I would like to ask you, what are you the proudest of
In my life,
in your life?
not the big question.
The big thing.
Oh, wow. What I'm most proud of in my life. Um, can I turn this around and think about what I'm most grateful for?
Okay, great. Uh-huh.
Instead of proud of, I think grateful for. I think there are a lot of things that I'm grateful for in my life, but I think um, I told you about teachers and professors that were my inspiration throughout my life. But I think I've always been very lucky with people surrounding me, and I have very close people that I can call as friends, as family, and this exchange of energy with these people is actually what give us energy and replenishes us to move forward. So then I
Mhm.
would say that one, if you want to still stick to what are you most proud of, I would say of the friendships that I built and the people that I met in my life throughout my trips. I also lived in Africa, so then was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. And also, I encountered lovely people from whom I learned a lot. So then I would say that these encounters, these friendships, and the ones surrounding me are is actually the thing that I'm most proud of. Or if you want to still think about grateful, sorry, that I'm grateful for, and if you want to stick to proud of, I would say I'm also proud of these friendships that I built and the relationships that I'm continually engaging in.
I love the turn that you give it to the question, because yes, it is like we are proud of, and of course grateful for, and it is like in combination with what you we say thank you, but at the same time we are proud of. You have been traveling around, Thiago. You have been in Africa. You mentioned your family and the teachers, and well, what is like? How do you continue to learn in order to stay on the top of the things, and more within your role?
Well, I'm a very curious person, and I love studying. Is one of my passions. I'm always reading. I have always something on my schedule to do or to read or to do some research on. And besides my notepad that I told you that I take note of ideas or things that I come across, I love podcasts. I'm always listening to podcasts when I'm doing things, when I'm at the gym, when I'm actually doing house chores. I always have podcasts with me. Webinars, cool webinars. Sometimes webinars that it doesn't that don't require any action from you. You just sit back and then you just start enjoying the speakers. I'm always there doing things, and I sometimes do that over the weekend because I also told you that I love studying. Sometimes I take 1 or 2 hours at least during my weekend to study something that I like. Can actually be a language or something that sometimes I don't have time to read the article that I wanted during the weekdays because the week has been really packed with work. Then I just do it that on the weekend. So then this is one of the ways that I find to not just learn more because this is my passion, but also to hone in on my skills for my work.
Mhm. For sure, you have very good recommendations about books and about podcasts, but I would like to know which books, movies, or podcasts in general have greatly influenced your life, or can you
Oh,
recommend to us?
Well, I would say recommend, and they actually recent encounters that I had in my life. One book is actually here because I was with it over these days. It's called Homegoing,
Uh-huh.
and I came across this book when I was living in Tanzania, and also talks about all the past with colonialism in Africa. Is actually about a lady, actually two ladies in Ghana, one in Ghana and one across the ocean. But I came across this, and it was nice for me to understand a bit more of the reality in Africa. Also acknowledging that Africa is a very diverse continent with a lot of countries, different cultures. And living in Tanzania, I came across this book, and it's a reading that I do recommend to everyone. And the other one is the movie that I watched this year, and it's called The Fear of Everything, and tells us the story from the physicist called Stephen Hawking that all of us know. But the movie just talks about his history, so it's about his story. Sorry, how he actually became that great physicist that all of us know, and also the challenges that he encountered in his life with his own disease. So then it's a movie that I watched and also inspired me,
Well,
and I do recommend.
that is what you're. And podcast, there's there a favorite for you? Do you have a
Wow, I
favorite?
mean, I listen a lot to news, but there's one podcast that is actually I think that are put out there by IDOU, and they have a lot of nice podcasts that actually stem from webinars, and they talk about various topics. They bring cool people, and it's very often very short, like 45 minutes. So then something that you can do, for example, whilst to just doing house chores that I told you, or doing the dishes, or if you just go to the supermarket, I do recommend. They always have nice things out there.
No, and probably in the future you're going to say like the Pro Bono podcast is one of
And the Pro Bono podcast.
it is a small series, but this is the idea to know more about. In this case, to know more about you, that you are going to have this important role in the network and supporting the network because well, the BMW Foundation has been also our co-founder and always being there supporting us. So this is going to be an amazing. Way in which we are going to have the possibility to add new things. And of course, the idea is like in this podcast was to have the possibility also to learn more about the intermediaries and the kind of programs they have and the challenges they have faced and how they created the new programs, how are they working, and all these kind of things that, well, to share it in a very friendly way, and also these kind of hacks and recommendations, because it is always great like to know more about people and what they are doing and be close. Sometimes when we are groups in which we are all around the world, it can be a way in which we can have these conversations and know a little bit more about us. So thank you so much, Thiago, for giving us the opportunity to know more about you, about what you are doing. And where is the place in which we can connect with you? Of course, you have our email. We're not going to share it here, but which social media, where can people contact you?
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. It was lovely to have this discussion with you, and I'm really delighted by this invitation. Also, very humbled by the other invitation, and this one coming from the foundation to be together with you, the Pro Bono Network, in the years to come. And you can always find me then also on LinkedIn. I'm actually quite active there because members of the network are part of LinkedIn, and the foundation also has an account. And I like following what is happening over there. So then it's a nice way to connect with me besides my email address.
Okay, so is Thiago, how do they search
Oh,
for you?
yes. You just can search for Thiago Souza da Costa.
Yeah, that's also like perfect. So
Yes.
that's the place to find you. And of course, we are going to have the possibility to talk directly with you in our next assembly. So see you very, very soon, Tiago, and was very, very excited about the new things to come and all like this new energy and all your experience, because I think something that is amazing is that you have all this experience with with what we are doing. So it is going to be great, and I am very excited about the things that the future are going to bring to us.
So am I. And thank you very much once again for having me on.
Thank you, and see you the 26th in
Yes,
our
I will also be there.
See you. Thank you, Thiago. Bye bye.
Bye.